With our backstories combined, we are the Hapless Heroes. This week on the Hapless Heroes.
Are we certain he's not a vampire?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and tonight I am your official host and DM for this episode and adventure. I'm going to start by introducing our cast and their classes. So for those of you who've been out there guessing, trying to predict, you're about to find out for the first time. Introducing, on my virtual right, John as Jam Jam, Level 1 Ranger.
Jam smuggled.
Nicole as Glorp Glup Glup, Level 1 Sorcerer.
I didn't need a Band-Aid. I can make a Band-Aid.
To her virtual right, we have Sebastian as Choom Deloom, Level 1 Artificer.
Bet you didn't see that coming, baby.
To his virtual right, we have Mike as Brunner Brew Blitzbore, Level 1 Monk.
I'm trying to bring out my inner peace. Gosh darn it!
To his right, we have Lewis as Lev Zangiv, Level 1 Barbarian.
I'm gonna feel that in the morning. I should have given receipt to Greg.
And to his right, we have Dave as March, Level 1 Warlock.
Hey, whoa. You can't just pop in on a guy like that, man. You just give me a second to minimize the pawn or something. Jeez. Just get that shit out of me.
Gotta do that monkey stuff.
To not leave everybody in suspense until I revisit my character again, Percival is also an artificer, but Seb and I are taking very different paths with that whole deal. So we'll learn more about that when I get to go back and sit down in the player's chair again. But for now, Percival's got a job.
It's almost like having two bards in the party.
Nah.
Who the hell would do that?
We talked about
who
this.
would
We
have
talked
two
about
bards?
this. We talked
That guy's
about this
like a
beforehand.
round square.
We're gonna be serving very different roles within this group.
It is like two guitar players, it is okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when we last left off, we got to learn a little bit more about the new backstories, I guess, that you have created over the last 6 months or so. I think I said 6 to 8 months. I'm going to kind of maybe factor, just to give a concrete number, let's just say actually 8 months aboard the raft. Because when you guys found yourselves here, right, and during this like time skip, we kind of tried to highlight through Dave's character-based exposition as March, right, that it's hard to get by on the raft, right? Like finding gainful employment that's really going to be able to actually get you out of this situation is tough. You've all kind of found a little slice of something here, and that was assisted by Father Jack Hayes, who sort of seems to be playing the role of the shotgun priest / good shepherd of the common folk here on the raft, which, again, to remind everybody, is just a hunk of metal of fused ship hulls that has been turned into essentially a habitat and is towed behind the Mother of Exiles, which is like the seat of the flotilla faction.
Eating all the exhaust.
Well, I mean, not much in the way of exhaust when it comes to, flying saucers in space and things like that. But there's plenty of exhaust and fumes and clanging of things in the raft because, again, it's just essentially space debris that's been fused together, right? And it's kind of happening on an almost daily or weekly basis around here. We kind of left off on a little bit of a cliffhanger, so I understand if maybe you want to know a little bit more about what happened with March, but we'll get to that.
Wait longer.
It is a new day on the raft, and with it, the usual chorus of clanging metal and the hiss of welding torches fills the air. We pan our camera to the now appropriately named Casa Concordia, which is the essentially remains of the ship you arrived here, I'm using air quotes, on. We all arrived here on, except for March, who we so lovingly crashed into his house unwittingly.
Yeah, I know. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
Oh, boy. So you've made yourselves at home here. It's a new day. And it's sort of been this cycle, this sort of ceaseless cycle where it's day in and day out. You can't think of the last time you've really had a day to rest because all of you are, for whatever reasons of your own, hustling to try to get some scratch put together to figure out to get access to somebody who knows how to find or chart a path back to where your home system is. Because one of the things that's become very apparent over the last 8 months is that no one has any fucking idea where you're from. No one's heard of it. Not a single person. It's not on any map, on any star map you've ever seen. It's completely uncharted for whatever reason. And you really haven't had the money or the access to the right people to be able to maybe try to gain that information. So I'm sure, at least for some of you, I would say Lev, most of all, has been working tirelessly to do whatever he can to make some money and to try to get access to the right people to potentially try to find a way home. I'm not sure if everyone necessarily feels that way. I think that everyone kind of maybe approached this new life situation a little bit differently, right? Some of you didn't have anything that you were really that sad to leave behind, but some of you did. Some of you maybe are just pursuing new paths. But even Percival has told you in some of the conversations, that you've had at home in your common area that, all this new technology and all these new things that he's learning, he wants to bring it back home. He wants to show the people, like, what's out here and, if anything, lay shame to the IAI for the absolute amateur operation that got us here to begin with. And because we weren't even supposed to be here, but yet now we've learned all this stuff, it would almost be a disservice to our people on our home planet to not share this information with them. So you have at least two people in your group who have a strong pull back home. That's maybe, making all of you feel like whatever roots you're planting here on the raft need not be temporary. And not to mention, it kind of smells. And it's just, it's not really the greatest of a situation. Maybe some of you are thriving in it.
I love it.
I'm not going to speak for all of you.
It's perfect.
But I mean, it's not, I wouldn't necessarily call it the greatest place to call home, but it is home to many. And, people have been, they're making it work. And today is another one of those days. As it happens, all of you have found yourselves with the days off at the same time. Lev, you just you finished cutting the last of the promos for the Red Horn arc. You've been told that you gotta wait for the payouts. If the story sells, then we'll probably shoot the turn later, right? And because your manager feels like you would make a good face. But we can't really have that turn unless this story sells first, right? It's a big marketplace right now. Everyone out there with a video camera and in a backyard or some sort of underground basement is setting up wrestling rings, trying to be the next, superstar. It's kind of crazy to you, in fact, how professional wrestling is something of a big thing out here in the wider universe, if anything. But you have hope. You really felt like you put on a good show, and you're just hoping for that call back, and so you're kind of between gigs right now. Jam, you just finished another smuggling run. You're waiting for the payout still, but Tink has been, in contact with you saying, that the payment should clear in the next few days, so you may actually have some money in your wallet, your digital wallet, for the first time in a while. It's gonna be nice to maybe not have to swipe those drinks that you've been swiping off of the tops of bar tables lately.
Take some of the fun out of it.
Glorp, I mean, you've been, making what you can. Teachers here on the raft don't necessarily make a lot, and you did kind of almost volunteer yourself into that role, but Father Hayes has tried to see to it that at least like most of your basic needs are taken care of, as he's sort of the one who's been facilitating some of these classes and things to make sure that the kids don't go without an education here on the raft. So, you've been able to get by, and at least like if any of the basics and stuff that you've needed like have been provided to you and to actually all of us, at the Casa Concordia.
I do some tutoring.
Yeah, exactly. You have like maybe a side tutoring gig, that's getting you maybe some pocket change here and there. That's great. Exactly. Choom, you have been moved off of desk duty by now. That was just again the intro, but Gloria still working there.
Of course.
She was her usual bubbly self to you, but you did your best.
Hate that.
You really pushed through it.
Some people you just want to punch in the face,
But funny enough for you, your paycheck is actually late. So it's your day off. You may need to go check in on that at some point today, but it might be something to check in on. They've never been late before, and it's not, what I mean? So you're not really sure what's going on, but you checked your account this morning, and it's the same number as yesterday.
Son of a bitch!
Brew, I don't know if you necessarily have been caring as much about worldly possessions lately. You've been spending a lot of time with the Mystic Order, and just kind of learning more about the teachings and doing some training, if anything, right? They've been kind of showing you some of the monastic ways that just self-defense type stuff, as well as like some meditation techniques of like how to communicate with that inner spark, right? That spark of adventure that was ceremoniously placed within you last time. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not even sure if you even wanted to take a job, right? You might just be either at the monastery or you got your feet up on the couch right now. It's up to you. It's up to you, right? What is Brew doing at home?
Watching Netflix. No, I think.
You're watching VidTube.
VidTube. No, I think he's. I mean, he takes up space, so I think that with his practicing of his calming techniques and some meditation, he's just kind of found himself in different spots at different times. So sometimes he's just up on the counter, sometimes he's sprawled on the couch, sometimes he is just meditating in the shower.
And what's funny is that there's only one shower that's left, from like the remains of this crash. So, you definitely occasionally get some complaints from your fellow, housemates. Like you're taking too long in there, bud. Like I got to go to work.
Is it a shower or a tub shower?
It's like a standing shower. Because again,
It's a
this was a
standing
spaceship. This was a spaceship. Everything's very compact.
Yeah. Stay in there as long as you like, man.
Right.
Well, so he's trying to do some sort of like ice bath, but clearly that doesn't work in a standing shower. So it's actually just him trying to like keep like ice blocks like up on the I don't know how to describe it. But
I was gonna say, depending on your level of clothing, if you were not doing this entirely naked, Glorp might be helping you with that with some of their newfound icy abilities.
I might wait on that because I think I'm doing most of this naked. Yeah.
You heard it here, Hapless.
Just checking.
Yeah. I won't put Glorp in that position.
That's good.
Glorp hasn't been asked, but would not care.
Cool. Good to know for future reference.
Love that. In March, it's been a couple weeks since let's call it a reconnection. The last couple weeks have actually just been spent with you trying to source parts to replace all of the fried wiring that happened as a result of that particular communication. Because there were some additional things that happened off camera. You learned some things. You feel some things that you haven't felt before, and you're still trying to make sense of it. You're kind of almost of two minds right now. Like you're just this. There's always just something nagging at your consciousness at all times. Like you're feeling extra paranoid.
March is sitting at the chow hall table. It certainly feels like morning to him. I'm sure he's diligently waking up at the crack of noon these days. The hours are long, and most of the hours for the sort of things he's shopping for are pretty odd. Generally, nobody's selling black market goods under what passes for broad daylight malls like this. No, this is very night market-y kind of things he's looking for. So by the time we hit noon, he's absolutely shot. Sitting at the breakfast table with his ears draped over his face, like the kind of haircut of someone who really likes My Chemical Romance just a little bit too much.
A haircut?
Oh, yes. Although I think mostly it's just from exhaustion and maybe a little bit of not quite disregard of the self, but a focus on other things. I feel like
I mean, it's not
the nirvana that Chum just lives in.
Yes, and I mean, and the sleep that you've been getting lately has not necessarily even been restful, because it's just like your mind is racing with just the like what, just maybe I guess like what you're starting to realize.
Yes.
And you're just not necessarily sure what to do with that quite yet, because you just kind of feel like, you just kind of always feel like you're being watched. Like you just have this like this almost this paranoia that is impossible to shake.
Yeah, except this is the thing, is it might not be paranoia. See, they might actually be out to get me. He's saying to himself as he is slumped over the breakfast table there.
Right, because the rest of the party can't hear you talking to the disembodied voice of the DM.
Yes, he's on his third mug of coffee so far this morning and eating Trix cereal, or the equivalent of Trix cereal out of a bowl entirely out of spite.
That's illegal.
Dave made this character just for that joke, I think. No.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh no, so many more. So many more. Hands are starting to shake a little bit. Oh, hands are starting to shake a little bit more, I should say. I mean, this is a man, Rabbit Man, whose philosophy is to drink coffee until your hands shake and then smoke scrolls of calm emotions until they stop. And that's when you know you're at the right point in the morning.
You've reached the Balmer peak for peak computer operation stuff.
That's genius.
Hacker
oh my
Man
God.
things.
At the very least for peak dealing with like starlight, whatever the fuck that is. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why does it seep down here?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I think for those of you who have not been calling the raft home for more than the last 8 months, it's been one of the things that's been the hardest to get used to, because of the fact that the flotilla does tend to migrate between systems and like astral space and wild space, and a lot of times they kind of almost have to simulate day and night. Because as they're entering orbits of just like large stellar bodies, like there's not going to be that same sort of changing of like the sun's shadow. So in order to kind of create a semblance of that, it's a lot of artificial or reflected sunlight in here, and they try to do their best to maintain a time structure by just ever so slightly shifting these reflectors away when it would be considered to be quote unquote nighttime. But there is always a light here in the raft, as the neon glow of so many of the storefronts and other things just are always filling the space with this sort of like iridescent, even at quote unquote nighttime. But it is day currently.
Chum be able to approach March in the kitchen mess?
I mean, as approachable as he is at any given time.
Yes.
Sorry, I asked the wrong question.
and I would like to also take a moment, because of the fact that our audience tends to love it when we do this. Each of us does have assigned quarters in this space, except for that one room that continues to be sealed off with a strange odor emitting from it. None of you have been able to find a way to get that door open. The strongest welding torches even will not penetrate whatever is keeping this thing closed. But other than that, everyone else has got a room.
I don't have a room,
except
but
for
I found
Glorp.
my Yeti cooler, and I
Yes.
brought it to school, and I let my students decorate it with glitter pens, and now it says Glorpy on it.
Yes, because that's what your students have been lovingly referring to you as they don't really want to say Mr. Glorp or Mrs. Glorp because you really neither. You're just Glorp or Glorpy or Glorp Glop Glop. You are just ooze. And
You
so
are just.
They just kind of, that's kind of what
Or
they
when
landed
I'm
on.
being fancy, I'm Glorpington the Third.
Oh, I did
That's
not know
fancy.
that. Let's all make note of that. Please, someone add that to the wiki. Let's not forget that it exists. No. So, as it is said, so it shall be written. No, okay. But I want to kind of maybe just get a quick, as all of you are exiting your quarters, what do they look like?
Oh,
Again, these are small, like personal quarters. I wouldn't imagine that the cabins are much larger. Your personal cabins are much larger than like. So they're essentially 20 foot by 20 foot square, right? They have like a bunk for you and like maybe just some maybe your personal belongings you've collected on the way. So maybe let's take a moment, describe to me what your quarters look like and maybe just a couple like innocuous personal belongings you may have acquired over the last 8 months. Again, nothing serious inventory wise, but let's just maybe trinkets or something that might be meaningful to you. I'm just gonna kind of go around the room. Let's just start with Jam Jam.
Jam Jam's room is just he's kind of gotten a bunch of shelves up. All the walls are covered in just knickknacks, and the floor is covered in empty booze bottles.
Are any of the knickknacks and things that you have in here stolen goods, like things that you would have maybe, or not stolen, but maybe just like smuggled goods, or things you may have brought in from outside of this raft, right? As part of your.
Oh yeah,
yes.
pretty much whenever you can find like a bobblehead or a snow globe or anything like that.
You take like a personal item every time you go on a smuggling run. It's like almost like a good luck charm.
Yep.
Okay, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah, so you got like you got your little like your hula dancing person. You got like maybe some bobbleheads and some other things on display. Love that. Love that. Glorp, you already described what yours looks like. It's literally the cooler with stickers and glitter and.
Yeah, I mean the cooler is like in just kind of in a corner, right? Because Glorp never actually had a room, but if I remember correctly, the space or the mess hall, sorry, basically got ripped off of the ship. So kind of in like just like a couple of scrap metal slabs that got like put up or metal sheets that got put up. The cooler's there, and there's like a parasol kind of like just like hanging above it. And off of the parasol, there's like some twinkly lights hanging. And then on the wall behind the cooler, there's a couple of like art pieces that students have drawn and like a couple of cards and like, just little trinkets from the classroom.
That's adorable. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I asked. Chew?
Choom's room. First of all, the door is almost always closed. And for good reason. If he leaves the door open, people complain. And I understand. He understands. But inside the room, he would have taken the bunk that is in the room and completely ripped it off the wall and just gotten rid of it. And then he would have a hammock built, attached to like
You are a hammock
pipe,
guy.
a pipe structure into like the top corner of the room. That's where he sleeps. That's all he needs. It's his little nest. The entire rest of the room is converted into a garage-like workspace. There's just an engine sitting in the middle of the room, and it has all parts missing. There's rust
like an
parts
engine block.
everywhere.
Yeah, there's just an engine block. Yeah.
Grease all over the place. You can see footprints and handprints on all four walls, just going in all different directions. That's Choom's room.
Love that.
And a post. If you allow it, on the Casa Concordia, he found a magazine that featured the Cosmos Concordia, and he cut out the picture.
Yeah, like
and
the
framed
spread.
it.
Yeah, it's like it was like a 2-page spread, so you can kind of clearly see where the seam was, and you like rip the pages out and just put them together. Yeah,
And
love that.
that's his Connie. That's
Love that,
it's a
absolutely.
little
Oh
picture.
yeah, and it just said you just wrote Connie on it. Like,
Has tear stains on it.
Is wonderful.
oh, 100, absolutely, I will allow that. Are you kidding me? That's incredible. All right, Brew.
Yeah, so as far as trinkets, he's kind of minimized quite a bit, but he still has two things specifically. One being a small stone or rock from his home that he always has on him. It's kind of his good luck charm in his own brain. And then he has a flask. So alcohol is still in his life, and even though he's a monk, he still wants to drink. So he's doing that. He's got that kind of hidden under his pillow, so that nobody really knows it's there, but you all know, but nobody outside of this group should know. Or at least he's hoping that.
Got it.
And then you see, I'm just picturing. Remember, like in the late '90s when kids had the glow in the dark stickers of stars and planets.
Yes.
So I feel like those are all over the wall.
Late 90s.
Yeah.
That was the last time I had those.
So those are all over his wall and ceiling. And then he's got like push pins and string that's kind of like mapping a galaxy of some sort. Whether it's his actual learning through his monkdom, but he is just kind of string kind of from different stickers, different stars and planets along the room.
Love that so much for you. Lev, let's talk about your living space for a moment.
Well, I imagine the first few weeks in the standard issue bed for Lev was very difficult. So we had Choom.
Yeah, you have the mattress.
I had Choom take the second bunk off the top and just put it next to the other one on the floor.
Weld it together
so that I could fit comfortably.
I love that for you.
I also imagine that he's got a mannequin of himself that with like a sewing spot to like make his outfit, because he's not like paying someone to do it.
Right. Yeah. Something that like your wrestling outfit is
kind of like Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Yes,
How
completely
very
understand.
humble kind of. So there's like some kind of like sewing spot with like a crude mannequin of him made of like old ship parts maybe. And there's some kind of boombox that my door is also closed because he like drowns himself out in music all day to not think about things and just work on his
this dude is like laser
efforts.
focused. Yeah, he's laser focused.
Yeah, I'm listening to some kind of aggressive Eastern Dowarian music that
you've been
Jam
exposed
put
to
me
a
on.
lot. Yes, and the thing is, like, you've been also exposed to a lot of crazy and new music. Also, just like living out here for a while now, right? Like
The Doar do have a very weird flute-like instrument.
Yeah, and they can, and sometimes they can hit those like guttural notes that are just like insane. It's crazy to think. Yeah, it's like Mongolian throat singing.
Yeah,
but it's just
it's
like,
pretty. It's pulsating and it's overtaking him while he's focusing on his work. So it's perfect.
Just like blast beats behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
and like the door, when he comes out, the door opens up. It's like, and then the door closes behind him.
Love that. Love that. March,
I'll take the room next to that.
Yeah, March, I did take the liberty of describing your space a little bit in the last episode, but I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't give you the opportunity to elaborate further and also tell us, I guess, where the hatch is that we built to allow you access in and out of your hole.
Yes. So, living the stereotype, much like Bugs Bunny, his quarters are, of course, accessed by a hatch at the top.
No.
I know we're not really original at all. But as it goes down into a space that is probably like a 20-foot diameter sphere, and on the inside there's sort of a copper mesh that forms a Faraday cage around the outside that some cables are fed out of the hatch through. so that nothing, no radio interference can get in. And then on the inside of that, it's just computers all mounted to the wall and floor, the entire inside of the sphere, with a single kind of busted ass looking dentist's chair in the middle that is just attached to several points on the ceiling and what would be the sides and the floor by pulleys that he can just sort of scoot up and around towards any of the consoles he needs to get to at any given time. He'll sleep in the chair. He just exists in there when he's in there. So there's no real bedroom. I mean, there's probably like a coffee can hanging from the bottom that he uses as, a toilet, for in the middle of long sessions.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, he's dedicated to his craft. He hasn't become so completely feral as Choom, but
Hey, shitting in a bucket.
Yeah, I was going to say, dude, I'm pretty sure Choom's got one up on you there.
Yeah, fuck you. I emptied a bucket. It's a leg up on you, ass. I mean, shit. You might as well be crapping in the corner. I've smelled what that room smells like, and let me tell you, anything that can get over old grease. Ooh,
I offered to build you a toilet 3 times.
He was a plumber.
But you see, then I gotta it's.
He likes the bucket method.
It's a lot of electronic shit that I don't really have the time or inclination or, enough different colors of crayons to explain to you right now. But, there's reasons, all right? It's got nothing to do with whether I leave pellets in a bucket or not. The hatch, by the way, is directly under the dining room table.
Oh, of course. So you have to slide the table out of the way to then access it and get down there.
No, I mean, I'm small. I can just climb
how
out
tall?
from
I'm sorry.
under
How
the
tall
table.
is March?
So March,
Like 3 feet?
There's two
There you
two
go.
types of heights for him.
Right.
Yeah, I have it specifically written down. He's 2'9" at the head, 3'6" at the ears if they're straight up.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So never mind. Yeah, you're able to just crawl under the table and access your hatch to your hidey hole. Okay. So yeah, it's an afternoon. On the raft inside the Casa Concordia. You guys are bickering about this shit over as sort of just the drone of the TV someone left on. Kind of just goes on in the background. There's some ad for the Gnome Depot playing. It's like the 4th time you fucking heard it. It's ridiculous.
Why don't you just build a toilet and...
That song.
I actually have an ad. I have a fake ad read to do for it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, sure. Let me shut down all of my equipment for 2 weeks, right in the middle of the most important op of my life, so that we can break the Faraday cage, so I can pull out half of the fucking wiring, so we can just stick a pipe into the ground that I am going to use once every other day or so. And I think the economy there is a little jacked up, you know what I mean?
He is good plumber. He can take care of it quickly. You know this. You just build it
this.
and we put it in.
Thank you, Lev.
Yes. Because apparently we have the one magical plumber in this universe who can do a job in under a week.
You've never seen him work a pipe of...
I lay pipe pretty good, you know what I mean?
You've never seen him work a
Listen,
pipe.
I'm the IT guy. I know everything.
You know when I'm gonna get those parts I ordered?
Yeah, about one day after I can unsee all the shit I've had to see.
As you're saying that, right? The end jingle of the Gnome Depot ad finishes playing, where you just say, "And remember, at the Gnome Depot, if you can dream it, we can help you build it." And then and as soon as that ends, you just hear a knock at the door.
Who the hell is knocking on door right now?
Yeah, I don't answer the door. I'm not an answer the door guy.
I don't know what you're talking about. Not my house.
Both of us go back to eating.
it is kind of house.
Bruce meditating in the shower.
I will answer door.
Technically, it's my lobby.
I thought you left your kids at home.
Lev will get up from he'll get up from the bench, the communal table, and head over towards the door and open it up. I'm gonna look through the window of the door first.
So
even though
I will say, because again, this is the hull of a ship. There's not necessarily a window, but there is one of you installed one of those slide hatches
Okay,
So you
nice.
can
Yeah,
slide
perfect.
the hatch out to the side to like look
I
through.
crank it to the side. Yep.
Yeah, your little bug eyes kind of like look through, and you just see out front some like a figure. They appear to be. So they're sharply dressed, but like with almost like this like calculated casualness, so not to entirely stand out, but like their clothes look, while common, exceptionally well pressed. Like there's not a wrinkle to be seen.
Are they humanoid?
They appear to look human. They, slender, and wearing almost like a bowler hat, but just kind of like pushed down with the brim pushed down a bit, so you can't really see their face.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it?
And they say,
He's like, I don't know, like debt collector or something. Hold on a sec. Yes, hello.
"This is the Casa Concordia, yes?"
I shut the thing and then swing the door open. Yes.
You get a better look at this figure now. I mean, yeah, they're about maybe 6 feet tall. They, again, casual clothes. Again, just thinking like this, almost like this like light blue, like long sleeve shirt with like a sort of folded down collar. Very astropolitan type wear. And like they're, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know. Mike
loved it. I loved it.
Mike loves that word.
I literally like worded it back to him on the video. You all couldn't hear it, but it was just like, ooh, epic, great word.
Yeah. They stand very, very straight, very like they just carry themselves like very confidently. Very soft facial features, like you can kind of see almost like a 5 o'clock shadow, but a clean shaven face. This just dark hair that you can kind of see kind of protruding underneath the bowler cap that appears to be shorn very short. And they say they just say to you, they extend a hand. Proxy Keen, representative of the flotilla. May I come in?
I look around and
Can I roll stealth?
What? Sure. Okay.
Yep. If you're gonna let these motherfuckers in. That's a 21.
Yeah, okay. You find somewhere to hide.
He said debt collectors. As soon as he said that, you hear clanging as I run away.
I did say that. Is this like house visit? Does someone owe money in here? Is that what you want?
No, nothing like that. I have an opportunity for all of you
Nice.
that I wish to discuss in private. And I would just wonder if you'd let me in.
Okay. Wait right here. And I close the door on him real quick. This guy said he wants to come in right now. I don't really know. Does someone else want to talk to Giant Man with me?
Did he show you any fucking credentials?
He gave
One of the
me
cupboards
hands.
pops open.
I think he was
Hang
like
on,
human
I'll
man.
talk to the giant guy.
Blorp comes up to the door and opens the hidey hole and then presses their head or their head area up against the hidey hole and just glorps out enough for their head to be sticking out the other side and says,
Can I see your credentials?
Yeah, they. So you see this person kind of reach into like a pocket, and they pull out like what looks to be a badge that has sort of the official like it just has like their picture, and it has their name, Proxy Keen, and just like has like the bearings of the flotilla, like official like personnel.
Keen, like is in a keen edge.
Keen. Yep, Keen Edge. Proxy Keen.
Blorp grows an arm out as well and takes the badge and pulls it back.
No, soon as you reach out to try to grab it, Proxy takes it away and puts it back in a pocket. I hope that's sufficient for you. I will be hanging on to that. Thank you.
Please hold.
Blorp back into the hole.
What did you see, Glorp? What did he...
You hear almost just the start of a sigh as you close it and walk away.
What did you see,
You
Glorp?
see a little bit of frost around the hole, and I turn and say,
His name is Proxy Keen. He had a badge. It looked real official. We should probably let him in.
hear one of the cupboards, a Fed?
I don't know, man. I presume you keep the contraband hidden, right?
All right. Choom doesn't trust the government. I don't think Jam Jam does at this point either, seeing as how he's kind of involved in some shady shit.
We good? We good?
What does Jam Jam say?
Jam Jam pokes his head out for a second and goes, "Are we certain he's not a vampire?"
That is a good point. Is it day outside right now? I do not remember time of day.
Right, because I'm asking to be invited in. Oh, I love that. That thought occurred to me as I was asking for an invite inside. I was like, I wonder if they're gonna think about this at all. Like, if they're gonna, if this is an angle that's even gonna be like questioned. And you fucking I mean, I'm not confirming that. I just think it's fucking hilarious.
Glorp slides the hidey hole open just far enough for like an eye to like glorp out. And then looks up to see if it's day.
It is day. I did mention that earlier.
But we weren't sure, so we're double checking.
And
then closes the hole
sure.
immediately and turns around and says,
It's daytime, so he's not a vampire.
March goes over to the
same thing.
pantry and fishes out a clove of garlic.
Nice.
And then proceeds to go over to Choom and hand him a clove of it. You
Hell
might
yeah.
need this.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Takes
good.
a bite.
Good. Used in the spirit it was intended. We can cover up the smell a little bit.
Somehow,
It's courtesy, really.
somehow Choom smells better. Yeah.
Closes the cupboard again.
Like offering a guy a breath mint.
Yeah, literally just like takes a bite out of this clove of garlic and then shuts himself back in the cupboard. All right. Again, Proxy is still waiting outside.
He shouldn't have come here if he wasn't expecting.
We must go
shit,
talk to
so.
Brew. It is his home too, and he should have say in what weird man in clothing wants outside with us.
Weird man in clothes.
I love the amount of suspicion that is happening from my first fucking like actual like NPC and not just like a story vehicle in one of your backgrounds. Like this is like the very first fucking NPC I introduced to you and you're just like immediately suspicious.
Yes.
Well, as at least 3 of us are engaged in illegal activities, yes, we would be a little suspicious when the local authorities come knocking.
Okay, I go back to
We're checking in with Brew, who's in the shower
Brew.
currently.
Still?
I'm meditating. I don't know any of this is going on.
Meditating.
It's considered.
I'm in my ice shower.
Oh fuck.
Just let him in.
He's doing ice thing again. We must. He told me not to bother him like last time, and I don't want to interrupt.
What ice thing?
It is like nirvana or something that he achieves.
Like the human man?
That's one way to call it.
Yeah. Yes. Less.
You actually just hear you suddenly realize that he's snoring.
See, that is like sign it is working.
Like at first it sounded like but it's not it's
And it's loud as shit because he's a fucking minotaur.
because I'm a fucking
Got
minotaur.
the
Yeah.
big nostrils, yep.
Yeah. I mean it's like it's kind of like reverberating a little bit.
Yeah, like the door, because again, the whole foundation of this ship was kind of rattled when you crash into it, right? Like the door has never been seated properly ever since, so it just rattles with like the vibration of your fucking, of your snoring.
Sleep noises.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just passed out. I'm just having a nap.
All right, he's not.
So
making
it's
a
all
decision.
up to you.
There's
Lev
not really
and
any
Glorp.
meditating going on.
I guess Lev's the one. It's either Lev or Glorp. They are the only
It's up
ones
to
who
you.
are doing door things right now.
Oh yeah.
Glorp slides the door hatch open again, the little hidey hatch, and says,
Sorry, Proxy, just another minute. We need to check with Brew, and Brew's taking a shower now.
and then just immediately slides the door closed again
Oh
without
my
waiting
God.
for an answer.
Said like it's such a normal thing.
Okay.
At least it's not a bath nap.
just gonna roll. I'm gonna roll some stuff, but just continue to discuss amongst yourselves.
I love the fact that none of us want to take up any sort of leadership role at this point.
I mean, look, the guy's not going to go away. We might as well just let him in. I mean, if for nothing else than this, shut him up.
Okay.
They tend to go away if you just leave them there. All right, never mind.
It's like a bully. Just ignore them and they go away.
I open the door.
There you go. Yes.
I'm sorry. Did I hear Lev say I opened the door?
I opened the door.
You did.
Okay. What do you say?
Okay, Mr. Keen. This is not something you can say right here in front of door. You have to be inside door.
Figured we could share a cup of coffee and talk about some opportunities that I just would prefer to do, in a comfortable setting. I promise, I mean you no harm.
Glorp sticks their head over Lev's shoulder, or around Lev's shoulder, around Lev's waist. I'm not quite sure about the height proportions here for that.
I'm like 6'8".
Glorp extends their head up and over Lev's shoulder in like an extremely long neck and says,
Is there a reason that we needed to invite you in? Are you sure you're not here to harm us? Are you a day vampire?
No, I assure you, if I wanted to show you my fangs, I have other ways of doing that. I come in peace.
I think he just confirmed he's a vampire.
Metaphorical fangs, friend.
Okay, well, we have plenty of garlic. I think we could take care of him, so come on in, Mr. Keen.
Thank you. And he steps inside. Anywhere in particular? Do you have a common area or something?
I mean, yes,
perfect. And he sees the table that's like not far from the entrance that, again, is in this small living space.
Yes, please choose any spot you want. Yes, why not?
And yeah, takes a seat at your, your dining table and says, if you have coffee or something, grab a beverage. I just want to talk to you a little bit. My name is Proxy Keen. I am a representative of the flotilla. The work I do for them is a bit more of the of that you don't necessarily see in the headlines of newspapers. I'm behind the scenes. I'm a mover. I'm a shaker. And well, ever since you and your group here have crash landed on the raft, well, we've kept a subtle eye on your comings and goings. Listen, the flotilla does not have the manpower necessary to really extend its reach that far into the raft. We are thankful for Father Hayes and the services he provides to this community. It's invaluable. And well, he sees something in you. And our people have heard some of the questions that you've been asking over the last several months about where your home and where you came from. And it piqued my interest. Because if there's something that you should know, the flotilla prides itself on being a bastion for those, being a bastion for those in defense against the iron grips of Astral Tech and its subsidiaries. Should your homeworld be something that truly is previously undiscovered, it would behoove us in the flotilla to also know the whereabouts of where you've come from to ensure the right people get there first.
Okay.
Because I assure you, should Astral Tech learn of your home planet, let's just say it's going to be a bit of a rude awakening for your people who presumably have not seen anything beyond the borders of their wild space, region.
Mark slides a mug of coffee in front of him. So, it sounds like you're either being sincere but it is the most ham-fisted threat I have heard all week.
Oh, March, I'm not here for you, but it seems like you're calling this place home yourself, so we'll talk in a moment.
It's my lobby.
Great. Anyways, to the rest of you, Concordians, I suppose, if you'd prefer I call you that. I'm not sure if you've even thought about that before.
You hear psst.
I have a proposition that you were to help us, maybe, with some of the skills and things that you've come to possess after your time spent here. The flotilla might be able to extend some of its services to assist you in finding where your home is and properly introducing your people to the galactic civilization that lies beyond the borders of their system in a way that's peaceful and not a corporate takeover. Based on what we can tell, it must be far enough away from the influence of the New Federation and the Crimson Imperium that I don't think that this would even be on their radar right now. If anything, you're lucky you crashed into us and not someone else. I believe that the flotilla possesses the unique ability and the right personnel to make that transition for your people painless and peaceful. To welcome them into the fold of a galactic society as an independent contributor.
Can Jam roll the old insight?
Absolutely.
Love the idea of just this Doar looking him up and down.
Oh, just 15.
Okay, I mean, you're 15 kind of, so you do feel that Proxy is being very sincere. They seem to be rather matter of fact. What I will say though is that, you know, when he speaks, it's very calculated, right? Like you can tell that he's being very measured with his words, where he, you know, is definitely trying to sell you on this idea, because it does seem like he's coming to you for help, like your group for help specifically, because he has something to offer you, but it's very clear that he needs something. Right? Like there is definitely he has his own potentially maybe his own angle here, because he does seem rather eager to, you know, sell you on this and give you a good reason why, you know, you should help him. That's kind of what you're pulling from this, right? Like if you've done enough, you've traded, you know, you've changed hands with enough of enough goods by now, Jam, to know that, you know, like everyone's trying to maybe get, you know, is looking out for themselves one way or another out here in space. And so while this offer is enticing, you know that Proxy's probably going to be getting something out of whatever the hell he's about to propose to you.
Do we have like a knowledge of or general idea at this point of these other like factions that he's talking about, like Astral Tech and everything, just from existing here for the last 8 months?
That is a great question, and yes, you would have. This is common knowledge amongst the people, like I guess the people of this particular region of the like Astral Sea and all the wild space systems therein. So that being said, I guess just from DM to player here, right? Like any of the public information or things that we would have written in our compendium, right? And like information and lore about these factions is now common knowledge to you. Like, you know, and like, you know, it's because all that information is really just a few clicks away on any personal computing or public computing device, right? And you can learn whenever you want.
Yeah.
So this would be common knowledge or knowledge that would be easy enough to acquire, that there's not really any roles or necessarily, you know, needed to recall this information.
Now, because of where we have existed for the last 8 months, would we have a generally very negative impression of Astral Tech just based on our day-to-day interactions?
Well, especially
with other people around
living aboard something that I guess is under the umbrella of the flotilla, you would have come to learn very quickly that the flotilla and Astral Tech are very much diametrically opposed to each other. You know,
Yeah.
the flotilla, you know, while life here isn't necessarily the greatest, right? Sometimes it's the only refuge for people who have been forcibly displaced by some of the ruthless corporate practices of the mega corporation that is Astral Tech. And so the flotilla has done a lot of work to sort of disrupt some of those operations and save people from essentially just being in contract hell for the rest of their lives because they've unknowingly signed away all of their rights and their planet to a megacorp. So yes, there is a generally disdainful view of astral tech that permeates the entirety of the raft, the flotilla, everywhere in this area. Yes, they are generally viewed upon very negatively. There is not a single astral tech franchise that exists. It's all independent businesses aboard the flotilla.
Nice.
Well, Glorp is persuaded, so Glorp is gonna look at Lev and say, "We can't let your kids end up working for Astral Tech."
An even more compelling reason to find your way home, Lev.
Lev shoots Glorp a look like this guy. We don't know if this guy does anything. And then he looks over at Proxy. What is it that you have in mind?
Simple mission. One that would make use of many of your skills. Simple data retrieval mission. In and out. No questions asked. No trouble, no fuss, hopefully. Just, we need something. We know that your group does possess a certain set of skills that could be useful to us, and well, we also need some folks that, if I could be candid, no one is really going to miss should something go wrong. This is...
Fuck you too.
Your mother.
Something a bit of a...
If I can be candid, I'm really no good at no questions asked.
The cupboard would.
The Glorp
pipe
is
up.
right. We have many questions.
You just hear the cupboard. All right, but does it pay? It just echoes from the cupboard.
And the cupboard right's a good point too.
Proxy's head, turns towards the cupboard, and he just sort of says very directly to your question, Choom, handsomely.
The cupboard opens and Choom swings on the door. I hate the government, but I hate the corpse more. You had me at hello.
That's the right attitude. Welcome aboard, Choom. What say the rest of you? I understand I may be asking a lot, and yes, I may, when I say no questions asked, I mean about the particular data we are trying to retrieve. That is OPSEC that I cannot share with you. However, I'm happy to answer any other questions you may have, but only if, you're willing to do this.
Is a comet really a dirty snowball?
I meant questions more related to the task at hand. But yes, we are aware of that tiny snowball, as you put it, in your chest. And I must say that our clerics have taken a particular fascination with it. But that's a topic for another time.
I am loving that Glorp is a teacher, because the fact that Glorp just asked a question that one of his students would have asked him is hilarious to me. Would have asked them. Hilarious. Like, I'm feeling the teacher vibe. It's there. You've hit the mark.
So we just need Jam, and I think Lev agreed already.
Yeah.
But Brew
just
is
need Jam
sleeping in the
Brew.
shower, and Jam is hiding from the authorities.
Can I slam on one of the pipes in the corner of the room, and then the echo just shoots up to where the shower is, just erupts in your shower?
I love that, but I also would love it more if you made me a strength check to do it.
Oh no! For the people at home, my strength is a very hefty 7. So we're gonna roll this with minus
That's a
2.
-2.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep, and with a -2, that's an 8.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't come with a lot. It doesn't go with a lot of force. So, Brew, I'm gonna need. What's your passive perception? It's just 10 plus your
12.
10 plus your wisdom.
Yeah,
modifier.
12.
10 plus your wisdom modifier is 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, then the DM makes a roll. I just wanted to wake up.
Yeah, he don't hear it.
Hey, Lev.
Listen, I
give me a hand.
cannot
bad.
go. I already told you like 5 minutes ago. I cannot go in there.
I feel like you missed the perfect way to like get somebody out of the shower, and it's to turn the faucet on.
Listen.
Like burn the shit out of me right now.
So Proxy is like, like watching you guys just like fiddle fart around, right? And he just says, listen, if now's not a good time. He just like, like reaches into like a pocket again. He like pulls out his card. And he also pulls out what looks to be like, it's like cell phone shaped, but it's very thin and very small. If anyone, so it's just like a glass screen. It's a tiny little, like almost like a data pad type thing. He slides the card and this like phone device and like onto the table, and he's like, call me when you're ready to talk business, and I'll be able to answer your questions. Maybe just take some time to get your stuff together and get everybody on board. I tire of some of this stuff, and I have a lot of things to do, and I really have no time to wait for whatever is going on in the shower there. So,
Yep, I got it.
you have my number.
Well, you know where the door is, so you know.
That phone's a secure line. Don't expect it to do much more besides call me, but, consider it
All right, fake.
consider it a loan.
And should we leave voicemail or something if you do not answer?
Good question.
Is that set up for you, or
I'll be waiting.
we could leave a
Ominous.
text? I think.
And with that, Proxy just kind of gets up
Is
and
the phone waterproof?
sees himself out. Does not answer the question.
Wow.
This guy was dick.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going
But
to call
he's
this
got
episode
money.
of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
Yep.
You're right.
Yeah. Woo! Listen, okay, my NPCs aren't going to always just sit around and wait for y'all to get your shit together. If you're going to dick around, they're just going to leave and tell you to call them. Cell phones exist now. So,
true.
you know what I mean? They're not going to just sit around waiting for you to get your shit together. They're just like, just fucking call me when you decide to get your act together.
Don't look at me. I tried contributing. The guy gave me the fucking brush off. Like, he didn't even thank me for the fucking coffee.
That's true. It's true. Takes another bite of garlic.
Yeah, maybe we'll be able to explore, maybe why he expressed a little bit of disdain for you. And maybe Proxy. Maybe you know the name at least. Maybe it's ringing a few bells.
I don't know.
But we'll explore that next time on the Hapless Heroes podcast. Until then, if you like us, you can find us on the internet. Just look for our link tree. It's linktree.ee/haplessheroes. That's where you're going to find all the links to our social media presence, our merch, our wiki page that our fans maintain, and all the things. But really, the thing that we're most proud of that Linktree will point you to is with the crown jewel of our internet presence, and that is our Discord server, where you can meet and talk to us, and we're discussing episodes of the show. We're talking about other TTRPG systems and sharing pictures of our animals and all the fun stuff that comes along with a community chat server. We'd encourage you to join our ever-growing community. It's really cool, and we'd love to see you be a part of it. So just check it out on our Linktree, and see if it's just to join us. But if you really, really like us, we'd love it if you left us a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice. Those things just help us grow in the rankings and just kind of get more visibility to the show. It's really just special to read all the nice things all of you have said about us over the years, and so we just love seeing that. And if you say something nice to us, we'll say something nice back to you on the air and give you a shout out for the 5-star human being that you are. We did get one in our 5-star channel on our Discord server, but it is very long. And our community moderator Altair wrote this whole beautiful thing. I might have him record that, and we'll just play that at the end of an episode at some point, because it's fantastic. But it's I just feel like I would be doing it a disservice if I didn't, if I read it, especially because I know Altair has a good voice. I've heard some of the voice work he's done. So that's your challenge, buddy. If you're listening to this, record that shit. I want to hear it for real, and we'll slat it in or something. But in the meantime, if you really, really, really like us, we have a Patreon page. It's just patreon.com/haplessheroes. We have a few different reward tiers, but regardless of what tier you donate at, for the most part, that donation will get you access to behind-the-scenes content, bloopers, and other things that we do. A special channel in our Discord server where, as Dave says, we all type with our pinkies raised in the air. It's really a cool time. You know, we do our best to always just find new ways to give back to all of our patrons because y'all have really just helped us keep the lights on over the last more than 7 years doing this. So, you know, we thank all of you, and check it out, patreon.com/haplessheroes. And with that being said, it's time for me to outro my cast. You know them, you love them. We're going to say goodnight to them now. On my virtual left, Dave playing March.
Yeah, get out of here. I got some perfectly legitimate business going on. Show.
Lewis playing Lev Zangiv.
Good night, everybody.
Mike as Brew Blitzboar. He's making snoring sounds. I'll hear it in his local audio. It's going to be ridiculous.
Discord took it away.
Sebastian as Choom Daloom.
Good night, everybody.
Nicole as Glorp Glub Glub.
Wait, you didn't tell us the password for the phone.
And John as Jam Jam.
Until next time.
And I'm Francesco. We'll find out if this phone actually has a password to unlock it next time on the Hapless Heroes. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.